Now in the final subtask of the JSON Data Processor project, we are going to be deleting the data. That is, we are going to be writing the delete student function. So let's look at the objectives of this particular subtask. We have to update the delete student function, and then we're going to ask the user to give a student ID which we should delete. And first we're going to check if the ID given by the user actually exists in the student records, and if it exists we're going to delete, or else we're going to print out an error message saying no student found. And then we're going to update the JSON file because we have modified it, and then we're going to display a confirmation message saying student with this ID has been deleted. So this is the expected output. So coming to the code in the delete student function, first we will be loading the data and storing it as a list of dictionary in this particular variable, and then we're going to take student ID as an input from the user, and the dot strip over here is used to remove any kind of white spaces that might be trailing or leading the input. That is, let's say I give a space after giving the input. So in order to normalize all the inputs, we're gonna remove it. So we have used dot strip. So I have an empty list called updated students, to which all the students will be appended after I've deleted whichever student I want to delete. So we have a for loop over here for s in students, that is for each element in the students list. That is, if the ID of a particular student does not match the ID given by the user, then we're gonna append it to this particular list. So if the ID of the student matches the ID given by the user, then it won't be added to the new list. Therefore, it won't be present in the final JSON folder. So over here, we're not exactly deleting it, but we're gonna make sure it's not added to the new list, which is going to be updated in the JSON folder. So over here we have a if condition. So if length of updated students is equal to the length of students, that is the length of the updated list is same as the previous list, that means that we haven't deleted any student ID, which means we haven't found a student with that particular ID in that particular student records. And hence we're going to be printing out an error message saying no student found with this ID. Now if the length is not same, then we're going to move on. So over here we're going to be opening the old JSON file in write mode as F, so that we can update with the new list. So in this line we're going to be updating the JSON folder. So I have given JSON.dump over here. So if you see in the load data function, we have opened the JSON file and converted it into a list using the JSON.load function. So the JSON.load function converts the JSON file into a list of dictionaries. But over here JSON.dump does the exact opposite. That is, it converts a list of dictionaries into a JSON file. We're going to give JSON dump, and we're going to give the updated students list, and we need to write it to this file F. So over here we give an indent equal to 4. So this is going to set the indentation to 4 spaces, which is going to make the JSON file more readable. That is going to format it in a way that we can easily read it. So after formatting and updating the new JSON file, then we're going to print out student with ID, student ID deleted successfully. So then we have the user choice function and the main function. Let's just run this code once. So let me just view all students once, and let me delete ID number 3. So let me give delete a student, and then let me give ID number 3. Now we've gotten a message saying student with ID 3 deleted successfully. Now if I view all students, you can see there is no student with ID 3. So let's just submit this code once. So we have passed both of the test cases. So we finally completed our JSON Data Processor project from Python. So here are some improvements you can try. You can improve the data formatting present in the JSON file by displaying student records in a more readable, like maybe in a table. You can try to add a feature which is gonna try to add. So you can add a feature to create a backup of the JSON file before you make changes. That is, before you update it or maybe delete something. And then you can give a sorting feature, update student details, and even improve searching. So this particular project, JSON Data Processor, was part of our course Python Projects for Beginners, where we have 11 different Python projects from which beginners can learn Python. And if you're watching this on YouTube, maybe try heading over to CodeChef to try this particular project out yourself, or maybe try other projects or courses which might interest you. And if you're watching this on CodeChef, great job diving into the solution.